and there's an external force obviously up top as well. And then there's a ball coming from in front. So he's positioned here, he's feeling force here and in his back. So what's happening in his body? He has muscles turned on to receive that because he needs to maintain this space. This is his space. He wants to be as close to the basket as possible. Last thing he wants is for this guy to push him way out here away from the basket. So he's feeling that, right? Now, what happens if this defender is a little tricky? He's pushing him, pushing him, pushing him, and then stepped off as soon as the ball's passed. Either one, he's not sensitive. He falls away because he was expecting external force in that area. He couldn't turn on another set of muscles to stabilize him once that force was removed. Right? Or the other, what's the right term? The other scenario is he could be sensitive. He could have felt that external force go away. And then a whole different set of tissues would have turned on to keep him right here. We don't do that kind of core training in the gym. So that's what I'm proposing. Let's add some of those elements in because it helps us move better. It helps us deal with external force better. And what we'll do is we'll do a bunch of strategies, and then we'll talk about where does it fit when you start to program your clients' workouts. Make sense? So here are a few different ideas. The idea of a warding pattern is exercises that promote body-wide pre-tension or stability, right? Like an isometric contraction, just like your plank, right? But as you plank in a vertical position, what you might start to see is we teach the body how to still be mobile while you're isometrically contracting against an external force somewhere on the body. How many different applications of force and different directions and angles of force are we promoting in the body with this? So many different directions, right? And how many different movement patterns? So the idea is, let's take a posture or a movement. Let's send force into different angles into the body to teach the body to be sensitive enough to react to all these variations of force application. External force being applied to the body at different angles. And we're going to experience that, and we're going to see that, wow, there's so many core muscles, you probably couldn't even name them all, because a lot of them have to learn how to turn on, but also then turn off relative to the external force being applied. So, 4 different types of warding patterns. We're probably going to be able to do partner stuff today. I'll showcase some stuff that's it could be done solo if you didn't have a partner to do warding patterns with. So I'll give you some ideas around that. And then by the end of that, we'll have an idea that vertical core training is not just about how much force we can produce, but about this idea of turning on and turning off muscles at the appropriate time and enhancing our sensitivity to external force. So this partner warding pattern for strength, think of it as an activation drill. Notice where my buddy Sean, he's pressing, he's the coach, he's pressing into the client who's holding onto a stick. You don't have to hold onto a stick. We don't have sticks today. We're just going to use our hands together. But notice how many different directions is he applying force? So every time he applies force to the stick at a different angle, on a different side of the stick, different muscles of Scott here, who's in this stance, have to then turn on to accept that external load, to defend or ward that particular position. So we're activating a bunch of different core muscles to get the job done. Let's go try something like this out over here. Back with your partner. She's ready. She's like, let's go. She's like, I know, I picked the wrong partner. All right, can I have you come up again? And then, you need a partner? Okay, so you're gonna partner with him when we break off, okay? So you'll partner with that gentleman when we're done. Okay, so here's the first thing that we're gonna do. One person is the coach. The other person is the client. And we're just gonna introduce the idea of a vertical core training exercise, a warding pattern, in a basic neutral position, okay, just an athletic stance. All right, so I'm gonna have you here, soft knees, athletic stance, hands are out in front, and I want you to make fists, okay? The farther your hands are away, the harder this exercise is. The closer, the easier. Let's go midway, okay? Perfect. And so what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna put my hand on top, but I'm not gonna push down. I'm just gonna put my hand here. And I want the client to dictate the force. You're gonna push up into me. With enough tension, your hands are still gonna stay in front of your sternum. You're not gonna elevate my hands, but I want you to keep driving up, okay? Go for it. Up. 3, 2, 1, relax. Off. Athletic stance. Now my hands here on the side. Push. 3, 2, 1, relax. Off. Take a deep breath. And go this side now. Press. 3, 2, 1, relax. And then we're gonna go down. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Only a few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. What we're starting to hear now is that if we do planks or isometric contractions for too long, you actually make the tissue very ischemic, you break the tissue down, and it becomes unhealthy. So we don't wanna hold things for too long because we don't wanna break down the tissue. We want just pure neuromuscular activation to wake some of these muscles up. Now, did you notice that depending on the angle, did you notice different things were firing to get the job done? Yet you were just right here the entire time. I'm gonna walk you guys through that. So right now, one person's the coach, one person's the client. Client, I need you to set up here. Coach, you're gonna end up placing your hand, I'll guide you through, okay? So coach, hand on top first. We're gonna press, just put your hand gently there, and then I want you to instruct to your client, hey, drive up into me, but your hands, you're driving up, but you're not moving your arms. So it's an isometric contraction. Okay, ready? And go, press. 3, 2, 1, relax, arms relaxed. Back up again, up again. We're gonna go up again. Second rep, ready? Up, go. 3, 2, 1, relax, turn off. Now, to the side. I don't care which side, because we're gonna do both. To the side now. Ready? And press on the side. 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time. Ready? Press. Same side. 3, 2, 1, off. Good. Other side. Ready? Press. 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time. Press. 3, 2, 1, relax. Good. Now from the bottom. 2 reps. Ready? And go. Drive down, client. Drive down. That's it. Push. Push. Relax. Coach, can you tell if your client's not really pushing down hard right now? Yeah. Coach them. Hey, right now you're like at a 4. I need you at a 6 or a 7. Get them to neurologically turn on more. Ready? Down. Push. Fantastic. Good. Relax. Good. For those that just went through that, what did you notice? Did you notice that different groups turning on, switching on, depending on the direction and application of force, okay? The client, we want them to dictate the initial experience. So that way we take this unknown, we're making it known, because we're about to elevate the challenge here in a little bit, okay? Switch. On your own now, 2 reps in every direction, hold each one for about 3 seconds or so.
When she trying to compensate, do I try to do the exercise more closely to the body so it gets easier?
Yes, you can. You could also say, don't push as hard, because she's the one pushing, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So you maybe don't push as much. There you go. That's it. And then give me more in an athletic stance. That's it, guys. Good. Now notice, take your hands farther if you need to. To play, notice it's a little bit harder the farther your hands are away from the body. Okay. Good, guys. Timeout. Well done. Questions? Questions so far? Does this make sense? Okay. So this is just an introduction. I like to start with an introduction with people with this kind of drill. You can do it in a group setting. And you can manage, as the coach, the time under tension. I can call the 3, 2, 1 if I want to, right? And that way they know how long to press. The next step is to now focus on the sensitivity. That first step was all about strength, wasn't it? It was about activation, turning muscles on, turning muscles on. Now it's about turning muscles on, but then being sensitive to turn muscles off once external force has changed or has been removed. Can I have you come back up again? So here's what we're going to start off with. So we're going to be here. This time, let's go fists together. And as I push, I'm going to be pushing into you now. Don't let this move from the center of your chest. Got it? So if I'm doing that, I'm winning. Now, if I'm doing this and he can't keep his hands here, the coach is pushing way too hard. Got it? So it's important that you only push as hard as the person can sustain. Okay, so we're here, athletic stance. I'm going to push down into you and then off. Okay, and I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1 for him. So he's learning, okay, he's about to stop and remove the stress. He's going to learn what muscles to turn off. Okay, so now I'm pushing down, ready, 3, 2, 1, off. Okay, so what happened? He just learned. Why? He made a mistake. What was the mistake? You got it. This is what I love about this. It doesn't require any coaching other than, hey, don't let this move from your chest. That's the game. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, stiffer, right? Happens immediately. We're teaching the nervous system what happens when we remove that force in that direction. Yeah. Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to get into in a second, but it's important so your client doesn't get hurt that you do a countdown. Make it known that you're about to remove force. Then what's the next step? Then it's full-on game. Then it's full-on game. Then it's, ready, we're here. I'm not going to let you know when we're going to put a, right? And then we say, ready? It's okay. There you go. Keep going. I'm going to keep going the same direction until he gets better. That's it. That's it. Nice. It's about the client always winning. If they make a mistake, you go in the same direction. And then the next step is multi-directional, where it starts going in different directions. So I might be here. Nice. Nice, good. So he's winning in that direction. I'll just change the direction. Nice. And we can start going in all these different directions, okay? I want you to play with that. Play with that idea. Don't worry about being wrong. Come back, we'll have some questions. No, here's good. Thanks, buddy, good job. So count down first, guys, count down first. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Guys, good coaching. I like to see that the client's winning. And if the client makes a mistake, you're putting them in an environment to win. Yeah, go ahead and switch now. So the coach becomes the client, client becomes the coach. Okay. Have a play. All right, guys, one more minute of playing with this drill. You're warm, right?
Everything is flared up.
All right, guys, time out. Let's come back just for a quick sec. Want to cover some things, and then we'll do some more. After you. After you. So guys, at the end of this session, I'll send you these slides. Okay? At the end of this session, I will give you a link for you to download the slides. I won't be able to. But it's just the slides. The PowerPoint's too big. It's like, 500 megabytes. So it's just the slides. But it'll be nice because then that way you don't have to write all this down. But I like this coaching model, where the client starts off dictating the force. It's really important to keep it safe, that they dictate how much pressure that they can withstand, especially if somebody has some pain issues. And then the next step is start changing the angle that you're applying force. And then the next step is now the coach is applying force and dictating how much pressure for that person to withstand. And then the last one is you make it reactive, which is where you start taking the hand away. Start with the countdown first, and then eventually there's no countdown. So it almost becomes this tug of war. And so here's the way I like to program these partner type drills, or these warding patterns, is I look at the workout and I say, okay, I'm looking at the movements. What are the risky movements? What are the risky postures for today? See the CrossFit shirt. Sometimes we might be going overhead today. That's a compromised position for a lot of people. So you know what I should probably do? Let's do a warding pattern in this posture, where I'm up here and then I'm learning how to stay strong up here. Learning how to deal with external force up here. For a lot of people, I might look at it and like, oh, we're doing deadlifts today. That's a lot of bending. You know what I should probably fortify? A bending pattern. So let's go do some warding patterns in those two positions. So now we have some application of like, okay, how do I start to integrate this into the practice? The first step is to figure out what are the most compromised positions of the day. Then, you know what, let's activate in those positions. And we'll use these warding drills as a simple way of doing that. Okay? Let's do it. It's good, all this movement in the morning, right? All right, so for this next position, mind if I keep using you? You're doing a great job, being an awesome model. Here's what we're gonna challenge this posture, a split stance, which automatically we are weaker in. This is a less optimal position to be strong in, but we have to be here sometimes. So understanding that the person can't produce as much force here, you'll find this game as the coach, barely any pressure goes a long way. And we're gonna be here, and we're gonna push our hands together, just out in front. Not fully extended, we don't have to be way out here. You can if you want, but we don't have to be full range of motion for this to work. I like to go right out in front of the head, and then for those that can go up a little higher, we go up a little higher. If you can't, you're just right here. But just being in this position, it starts to take all this anterior tissue and does what to it? It stretches it. It stretches it. And then it's in a stretched position and has to do what? Produce force to contract and stabilize who? You got it, your spine. I have to learn how to stabilize here, don't I? How do I normally train the core? In an isometric position where this is neutral, or I'm doing this and sending force into this muscle belly where I'm shortening the tissue. I don't really get to learn how do I take this tissue, stretch it, and send force through it, and to withstand and tolerate force being applied while it's stretching. How important do you think that is for a lot of people? That's how you prevent hernias from occurring, and it's how you optimize force and force production. Okay? You got it could be to stop going farther back, absolutely, as well as if this can get long and strong, this is now a stable platform for me to move my limbs, right? So it becomes important for both avenues. Very good. So let's get you in that split stance, hands together slightly out in front, and then as high as you feel comfortable with your shoulders, okay? Perfect. And so all I'm gonna do is apply force. I'm gonna put my hand here, and now push into me. You're at a 3 right now, give me a 4. Give me a 5, and off. That's the first step, right? Is he pushes into me. Let's do that again, because this is new, right? You've never done this before. So his nervous system's like, whoa, I gotta learn how to do this. So let's do it again. 3, give me a 4, push, give me a 5, and then you're off. Fantastic, good balance. Let's bring the arms down for a second. Give him a chance to get some blood flow into there. Go back up. You did so good on that side, let's do the other side. What I love about this, he's way stronger, but because he's in this position, it's not so hard for me as the coach to win this battle. Good job, and relax. Okay, good. So you felt the balance, you lost a little bit, that's okay. So all I need you to do is push as hard as you can, but still maintain good stability below. Push, push, and we're off in 3, 2, 1, and done. Done, relax, okay? That's enough. We don't want a tired nervous system. Then what we can go do is, boom, right afterwards. Who's gonna feel stronger and more stable doing that particular drill? So I would look at the drill. This might be the drill. I'm like, well, that's a lot. We might be compromised there. Let's be strong there. And I might do that drill first as part of the movement prep. You got it. Now the nervous system's ready. Make sense? And we can go any angle that you want. I like to do 3 to 5 reps max. I don't want a tired nervous system here. Got it? So I want you guys to play with that one. I want you here, one person coach, one person client, 3 to 5 seconds of a press, relax, do it again, do different angles, and then we got to balance yourself out, right? Do the other side.
Okay.
Yes?
3 to 5 reps in each direction or in total?
In total, because the nervous system is going to get really tired really quick,
Okay.
right? Because you're like purposely trying to generate a lot of force. And so we don't want a nervous system to get pre-fatigued, and then you want to do all these exercises afterwards. It'll be too tired to execute it. So you only want a few reps.
Okay.
A few reps goes a long way.
I assume you don't pull in this direction if someone's hands are here? For
Pull
reactive?
them. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that would be good feedback, though.
It would. It would teach you, wouldn't it? Stop smacking yourself in the face. Yes?
Tired?
Because if you make the nervous system tired, and this is only a warm-up,
Yeah,
Performance will suck.
you got it. I need that nervous system ready to go. I don't want it tired before you go do something heavy lifting. So a lot of these drills, perfect movement prep exercises.
But is it good to train it when it's tired? Because maybe in a football game, after 80 minutes, you're a little bit tired and your core still has to work. So it has to work when the nervous system is tired.
To me, it's a risk reward,
Yeah.
right? I wouldn't jeopardize my athlete to get injured in training,
Yeah.
right? Because you're overstimulating the nervous system. So it's not needed. It's not need that kind of training. That's more willpower training. It's like I'm tired and I got to keep pushing. That's different than what we're trying to do here. This is more sensitivity, right? It's just about that. Whereas what you're talking about is more willpower training,
Yeah.
which has its benefits. But I probably wouldn't use these drills for willpower training. I think just basic running until you're tired and then keep going would challenge that. Yeah, great question. Thank you. Good, guys, quick timeout, quick timeout. How many of you have shoulder issues? Okay, so one, if this is bothering you, you're allowed to push somewhere else. Keep the hands here. I want the hands still to be here, but make it pain-free, so it only goes high as it feels good. Can we press somewhere else, though? You can press the hip. You can press into the ribs. You can press into all these different angles, not into the hand and shoulder directly, and you will still get a lot of neural recruitment in through the body. So feel free to play with that if you need to. Okay, keep going. Yes?
When you push the decline and you count down like 3, 2,
Yeah.
1, do you like let go or do you just release force slowly?
Start off slow.
Yeah.
Start off slow, and then as,
Build it up.
hey, you're getting good. Ready? I'm gonna let go, but I'm gonna let go.
Yeah, okay.
You let them know first, because you don't want the training environment to be risky,
Of course.
right? So that's a way to keep it safe. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Guys, if you haven't switched already, please do. If you haven't switched already, please do. Okay, guys, time out real quick. Time out. Time out. Use this cue on your next one. Same drill. As a coach, I want you to say this. I want you to drive your big toe into the ground as hard as you can. Drill a hole into the earth with your big toe as you do this. Try it. Your big toe on both toes. Both toes are driving into the ground while you're pressing. See what happens. Okay, time. Great job. Questions? How'd that big toe thing work? Did it help at all? No? Okay. It made it worse for you. Okay, good. What, as you got worse, what happened? What was the outcome? Like you tried putting your toe down, and what happened?
I fell more easily.
You fell more easily. Okay, so it was similar to our drill, where if I'm turned on too much, I actually lose balance. I lose stability. Right? For other people, it was an element that you weren't thinking about and turning on, and so it gave you more force to stabilize with. So the key factor with this is you can easily identify if it's working or not, right? If your cue works, it'll be more stable. If it doesn't, that's the wrong cue. That's the wrong cue. How funny is this, right? Did anybody think that this was a foot drill? That we were going to do foot training in a core session? How involved is your foot to your core? As we're finding out, for vertical core training, your foot is part of your core. Absolutely. And if my foot, which is the first contact with the ground, if that can't stabilize well, then this has to work so much harder to try to get the job done. So a strong foot becomes important. So that's why for this kind of training, I love to do this barefoot. Get the foot to feel the ground, and it'll help switch things on up above a little bit more. Good. Let's do the next position. Let's go now into a bent over position. So what we're going to do is take a hip hinge, soft knees, and we're just going to bow at the hip, back nice and tall. And what I want to do is fortify your confidence and strength down here. How many of your clients could use greater confidence bending over? How many clients do you have that they pretty hesitant about bending over, right? A lot of my practice in the past has been working with people in pain, and a lot of their lack of confidence we had to restore. And so a great way to do that is get them to a level that they feel confident bowing and bending. If somebody's pretty compromised, we can use the wall. We can be here, and then they can bow with extra stability. And then we can do some warding patterns using that, which I'll show in a little bit. For now, my model. Let's have you here. Bow at the hip, hands out in front. Okay, good. That's it. So you're a little round right here. Imagine this had to rest on your back. Okay, good. Stick your tail up a little bit higher. There you go. So if I just rested that there, that's great. Okay, good job. So now, nice tall spine, and in this bent over position, what's the first step? Say it again. You guys got it? I'm going to play this angle, and he pushes into me. 3, 2, 1, relax. Let's go the opposite direction. Go, push. 3, 2, 1, relax. Let's come on out. That's 1 rep. Come on back down. You were so strong. You had great form and technique. Push. Relax. Push. And relax. Okay? Turn off. Very good. That could be enough for somebody on day 1. For somebody more advanced, go to the next step. Back on down. What's the next step after we do multiple directions? I start to push into you, okay? And then I'm going to give you a countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1, off. Nice job. 3, 2, 1, off. 3, 2, 1, off. 3, 2, 1, completely off, stand up. Fantastic, okay? Then guess what? Let's go grab the barbell. Guarantee your strength goes up big time. That's all you need to do. Of course, mobility work and all that stuff you integrated in. I would finish your mobility and stretching, whatever you do for a movement prep, do that at the very end, and then go lift. Your ability to deal with external force will go up. We don't have barbells to test it right now. But hey, come Monday, try it out. Monday, come try it out. So with your partner, I want you down here, and let's work on getting strong in that bent over position. We'll get there. We'll get there.
level, when the coach push and do the countdown, because you know he's going to relax, do we relax brutally or quietly?
Quietly at first,
Okay.
right? Because again, we don't want to compromise the client. All of a sudden you take it off, right? And it's too abrupt, and they're down here, and all of a sudden they do one of those, it's spazzing my back.
Yeah.
You got to let them know. You have to let them know that it's coming.
And after when it's getting better, then we can do
That's
it.
exactly it. That's exactly it. Great question.
We noticed that you put a hand on his knee. Is that just?
So I didn't slide away.
Oh, so you didn't slide away. Okay, great.
Yeah, because my knees were here, and he was pushing into me, and I felt my knees were like doing that. So I just kind of anchored myself. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, guys, wrap it up. Questions? Concerns? Something we haven't addressed is some of the breathing with these drills. When we're pressing, we're allowed to hold our breath, right? When you hold your breath, you stabilize your trunk. Your diaphragm starts to push down. It pushes your guts. It gives you some trunk stability. But what needs to happen when you're done? Breathe out, gather your breath, and then you can go back into it, and you can hold your breath during. That's okay. You got it, okay? Now, if there's high blood pressure and issues such as that, then we would coach breathing out during the pressure. So you'd inhale here, and you would push during the tension with somebody who has high blood pressure. Does that make sense? Cool. A great question came up was, how do I do this by myself? This is kind of cool, client-coach relationship, group training. You can do this as well. It's a lot of fun. Usually brings a lot of smiles. How do I do this by myself? Let me show you some examples, and then we'll come back out here and play with them. So these are just examples of ways that you can do these warding patterns in all kinds of different postures and positions. We only have an hour today, guys, so I can't do everything with you, but hopefully that the idea is being planted right now in terms of how a lot of this works. So I like this reactive one. He starts an athletic stance, and then he's got to figure out where the external force is, and then has to get stable and drive into that external force at different angles. So that's some advanced stuff that you can get into. So if you're by yourself, we can use bands. But now the idea is you're not doing a chest press with the band or a pull. You're going to drive the band away to stabilize and create that isometric contraction. And then here's what you're going to do. That angle of force won't change. Unlike a human being can press, the band can't. So what we're going to do is change our position around the band to do a similar effect. Is it the same? No. Similar? Yes. Okay? So that's one way of doing it, and I'll walk you through a couple of these types of drills. These are ones that can be used, warding drills, in a cardio session where you defend and now we're locomoting really quick. We'll try some of these out here in a second. So these would be warding patterns that now are no longer a warm-up. These could be warding patterns that are within a workout. It's part of a circuit. Yes, sir.
The PowerPoint slide are the videos included?
No, the videos won't be included in there. Yeah, the PDFs unfortunately can't withstand the video. That's what makes the template so large. We can also use the wall. If you push into the wall, what's the wall do? It pushes back with the same amount of force as you do. So we can use an external force, an environment that doesn't move, and push into it at all these different angles and different positions to wake our body up for the task at hand. So he's doing a lateral squat and then pushing into the wall. Or we can have, did this video play over here? It didn't play. So you can be in a prone position, and you can use basically this plank position, and you can drive into the wall for greater activation at different angles. This is how we do reactive training by yourself. Now the challenge here is there's not really an external environment telling you, so the sensitivity isn't quite as high or as demanding as with the partner. That's the biggest benefit of having a partner-based warding pattern, is you really get that sensitivity training. But you get some here as well, not as much, obviously because the wall can't really talk to you. Now the cool thing is there's devices out there that you can hook up to the wall that will light up randomly. And you go in the wall, when that wall thing lights up, and so now you're by yourself still, and you have this app and this piece of tool that can help you out with that. So let's go play around with these ideas. We've got about 20 minutes. Let's do it. Do me a favor, with your partner, grab one band. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Can you hold this for me? So I got my fancy band. You can use the cable machines as well in the gym, and you hook it up to your fancy cable machine. And you know that drill that we did earlier? Let's do it with a band to get a similar effect. So what I might do here is I'll interlace my fingers, and I'll come up above until I have a little bit of tension. You can go right there, it's fine. And then what I'm gonna practice here is I might practice stepping down into position, relax, drive up, initiate, and then move in. And I'm trying to maintain a nice straight upright posture, because what's this band want to do? It wants to do that to me. So I'm having to obviously fire a bunch of muscles through my trunk on the opposite side to prevent that from happening. So there's one strategy of doing that. Another thing we can do is we can change our foot position. So instead of starting always here, even though the demand later might be this, I'm gonna challenge different foot angles. If I challenge different foot angles, how many different muscles do I end up recruiting as a result of a different foot position? So many more. You prime more muscle fibers as a result. So my next challenge would be like, you know what, all right, I'm gonna do this now. Wide stance, and step back. Woo, that demand is a little bit harder. Understandable, this is not an optimal position to move from, but that's a good thing, because now I gotta get more tissues to turn on to deal with this force. Does that make sense? So you can go wide position. I might go single leg. Automatically, what happened to my body? My body wanted to go with this band, had to work a little harder to prevent that from happening, and then I can go into my movement and see if I can find that space again. Okay? Do one movement turn off. Do another movement. So make sure you turn off the arms and shoulders. We want good blood flow to the area. We don't want to cut the blood flow off. Okay? Try 5 reps on each side. Play with different foot positions and different angles. And then do both sides and then switch. That's it. I want you to imagine there's headlights on your shoulders and your hips, and they're shining straight ahead with this drill. So I don't want to see headlights facing in different directions. Nice catch. Good work. Nice. You're allowed to smile too, though, if you want.
No, I smile always.
That's right. There you go. That just means you're doing a good job. Yes. Yes, you can go lower. Yeah, absolutely. And if they had shoulder problems, you probably wouldn't be doing overhead activity anyways. Yeah. Yeah.
I use my brain there. I find the narrow step more difficult because my glutes not that much activated.
Uh-huh.
In the wide,
Yeah.
I think it's easier.
It's easier to stabilize in the wide, but the transition to go from wide to then narrow can be a bit tricky, as you can see, right? So you're right, though. Being more narrow with a frontal plane force,
It's very different.
it's very demanding, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, real quick timeout. Let's see what we learned. So our other position that we challenged was what? Bent over. Show me what that looks like with the band now. You're by yourself. And the idea is to prime the bent over position because maybe you're doing some deadlifts. What would you do? How would you position yourself? So here's what I like, okay? For this one, this is what I found has worked really, really well. I like it when you face sideways to your anchor point. Even though your force is going to go up and down with the weight, in the priming effect, I like a different application of stress because that recruits more muscles prior to you doing your sagittal plane exercise. So then we're bent over, right? And then you want enough tension that's forcing you to do this with your arms. And then you got to stabilize there, and then you relax. That would be step one. Step two is you're going to change your foot position. I like to do this. Here, and then step, step, and then turn off. I want you to just do a little step, a little toe tap. Step, step, turn off. Try 5 of those on each side of the body. Make sure that we get both sides, and I want this hand in line with the chest and right underneath you. There you go. The more underneath you, the better. There it is. Good. Now both of you guys are like this. You're pretty vertical. I need the hands by your shins because that's where the weight would be, right? So down here, so you're still out in front. There, right between your legs. And that's where you would try this exercise out. Nice, good. Good. Now, client, do me a favor, client. I need your hands right here next to your shins, right in this space. If you're out in front, it doesn't work as much. If you're between your legs a little bit, so long as the band doesn't hit you, you'll turn more on as a result. Okay? Give it a shot. Because you're bent over more. Right? Because if I'm here and I drive this, I have to bend over more to get there. Yeah, buddy, I like that. He's like, give me more. Good, and if you want to, because the band's kind of light, one hand. Put the other hand behind your back. That's it, straighten out that arm, reach. Drive that arm into the ground. That's it, that's it. Give me good tension there, and now you go. That's it. That's it, good job. Then turn off and relax. Catch your breath. And go again. So you can go, if the band's really light, you can go one hand. You're welcome. Nice, good job. Now your shoulders, okay, so hey, keep them here. Keep them straight. Nice. Now, perfect, thank you. Yeah, 3 to 5 reps. Again, unless this is in the meat of the workout, which you can do, great for a beginner. For more advanced people, this is a warm-up, 3 to 5 reps. And because I don't want too much fatigue here. I want turned on. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm switched on right now. I feel powerful now. But I don't want fatigue.
If you have a very beginner person who's got not very good awareness of core, you can do with lightness and more reps.
Okay, so the question here for somebody that's just a beginner, we're not even deadlifted. This is the strength drill, and we might go up to 10 reps, but if they're a beginner, guaranteed in 5 reps they're tired, right? They're going to be tired in that amount of time. It doesn't take long, so you can still keep it at a relatively low rep range for this to work and to work well. Yeah. You got it. It can be in the warm-up or it can be in the training, especially for a more beginning person. Okay? Very good. Now, something that I like to strengthen that a lot of people lose is the ability to rotate. A lot of these drills we just started working on was preventing the rotation. Prevention of rotation is good, but what also is just as important? Rotation. You got to rotate, you got to rotate well. Let's take the same concept, but now we're going to pre-position the body in rotation. So now I got to be here, and then my max tension will be at the end. Can I borrow this for a second? So you're my anchor point. So now there's a decent amount of tension right now. And I'm going to bow, and I'm going to rotate in and come down here. And now in this pre-rotated position, my back's still tall. I'm not flexed and rotating. That would hurt your back. My back's still tall, yet I'm still rotated. What did I do with my hip to help out? My hip is rotated. I want everybody to rotate together because that's ultimately what you would do. If you were to swing a golf club, what would you do? You'd rotate your hips with your trunk. You wouldn't keep your hips still and then try to rotate just your trunk, especially with load in your hand. So you're going to turn your hip and your trunk towards and drive down. Then if this is, just holding this might be enough. And then you relax. Whew, that's enough. Let's turn it on big time. If you want to add level, then we're learning how to move our legs in that deep position. A simple little toe tap goes a long way. We could also step in any direction that honestly that you want, because every new direction, different muscles have to switch on for you. Keep it simple though. As you do this more and more, you can start to play with different positions. Okay, give that a shot. If your band is pretty light, go with one hand. That's it. And see if you can aim a little lower. There you go. It can. He can choose, yep. And then make sure we turn off, too. We don't want to hang out in that position for too long. So you stand up all the way. Let everything kind of turn off. And then we go back down again. Yeah, you guys have a watch on here? No. 10:49. How's your butt feeling with this one? You're welcome. Is your back a little bit? Good. Was it muscular back? Yeah, that's fine. Good. Yeah. I have no problem with you feeling it in your back as long as it's tissue based. If it's tissue based, it's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Is this method more based on isometrics, or do you actually do a bit more advanced, like dynamic, like a golf swing or whatever?
I wouldn't do it that dynamic. Yeah, because you don't need that kind of external force. Like in golf, no one's ever pushing into you when you swing. But I get as dynamic as just moving legs. You know, that's as dynamic as we really need to be. Or learning how to move my feet fast as well. Yeah. You can? You can definitely vary it. So you go down in this position again, and now do the same drill with the band sideways and your arms are above your head. Game changer. Talk about fortifying sensitivity and strength through your trunk. That's a really challenging position to deal with. You can flick the band. Those are called perturbations. And those perturbations, again, it's a different stimulus because there's a wave coming into the body. So the nervous system has to react to now a wave type force, which is different than a static force. Last drill, yes?
Where do these types of exercises have the most carryover? Because as you mentioned, the deadlift.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out where it is going to help me in my deadlift.
Where it's going to, so,
coaching.
Great. So your question is around the idea of carryover. So if I'm in the deadlift, how's this going to help me in the deadlift? So for a lot of people, not everybody, but I find that a lot of people, they get stuck with the initiation phase, getting out and up, right? So this particular type of strategy is we're turning on the nervous system in this position. Right now, everything is stretched, and it needs to turn on for us in that stretched position. So we're down here, and we're just priming the nervous system to say, hey, we're about to do external force. We're about to move mass in that position. So we're waking the body up in this position. Sorry, I'm spitting on you. Make sense? Now, go ahead.
And how does internal torque, like for example, screwing your feet into the ground, because that activates the whole back as well.
That's right. Absolutely. So a cue to get greater activation, you can say, imagine your legs or feet are screws. And I want you to think about you're down here and then screw into the ground while you do that. Absolutely. That's another cue that you can use. I like that cue a lot as well. So the idea is you're applying force at a different angle than you would normally lift. You wouldn't lift a weight asymmetrically normally. You'd do it very symmetrical. But if you prime the body in an asymmetrical environment where force is being applied in a much different direction, the nervous system had to go get new muscle fibers. They're switched on for a certain amount of time. And then you go lift, they're working for you now.
But it's more like for moving sports then, like you say, like the example with basketball and stuff like that, where you're really actively doing something, because it's a pretty static movement, the deadlift, you know? How is external force ever going to be applied to in an exercise like that?
The load is external force. The load is external force. So that's why there's carryover, because this is external force as well. Make sense? Now, the last one we're going to leave off with, because we only got a couple minutes, is let's use the wall. You don't have a band with you. Imagine that, you know, like like you have your barbell rack and the pillars. You can use those as well, because they're not going to go anywhere. And what you can do is come down into the wall, get as low as you comfortably can, and then just a couple reps, right? If you didn't, now I have to rotate a lot, which if you can tolerate that, nothing wrong with that. Let's keep it safe to begin with. I'll go here, and then I might even do, even though my deadlift might be here, I'll still prime this. Why? Because this is different muscles that have to be activated. So then when I go to do my deadlift, those muscles are turned on for me. Because the nervous system is always looking to save energy, right? It always wants to save energy. So if I do this, I'll be primed, but what happens after, let's say, 5 minutes? You're deprimed again. In the United States, we play a lot of baseball. You guys familiar with baseball? So what does the batter do when they're warming up? They do swings, and what do they swing? You got it. It's an activation pattern, right? You swing something heavier, you take that off, what happens to your swing? That bat feels, that's what we're doing here. It's the same idea. We're making the bar feel lighter because you're priming your body, you're switching things on prior to doing it. Okay? Let's find some wall space. And then, let's just do this. I'll coach you through. Find some wall space. Back nice and tall. Good job, coach. Yes.
Before you're doing the
Yes.
exercise, you were doing something like this,
That's
like
right.
every time.
Yep. Okay, plenty of wall space. Ready, guys? On my count, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. You're going to bow and press. And then I'll say off, stand up. Spread yourselves out because you probably don't want your head in somebody's butt. There's plenty of wall space over there, too, if you need. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, press. Off. Good. I want a little harder on the next one. Just a little bit harder. And if you can, hand by the shin if you can get that low. Ready? Go. Push. Back tall, back tall, back tall. Push. Push the wall down. And off. Good. One more time on this side. Ready? Bow, press, go. Push, push, off. Good. Turn around. Don't forget to take a deep breath in between, yeah? And back tall for me, get that butt out. Go. Push, push, off. Good. And go. Push, push, off. Last one. Ready? 3, 2, 1, push. That's it. Push the wall down. I want to see the wall move. I want to see the wall move. And off. Good job. Shake it out. Good work. Okay? Again, for somebody who's just learning, or we need to reestablish confidence again, I take these type of drills, and this is self-care. They go home. They can do this on their own now to help build confidence to start owning this environment again. Because that is an environment that people start to get scared of when they have an injury. So we use it for rehabilitation, we use it for activation patterns, and we can use it just as pure strengthening. A strong core is a sensitive core. Does that make more sense now?
You said for rehabilitation, let's say you have a patient in bed, can he do it on his back?
Great. The question is, if you have a person in bed, can you do this type of drills? Yes, you can. Who should be dictating the force? The patient will be, right? Wheelchair. This can be great for people in wheelchairs, right? To do core training with somebody in a wheelchair environment. Yeah, the key thing is the client always wins. Have them dictate the force, make them own that space. Okay? Let me show you the last slide here. You can take a picture of it. If you can grab the bands for me and bring them back. Thank you, dear. Thank you. So a lot of benefits to this style of training. Improving the fancy word, neuromyofascial sensitivity. We're just improving our nervous system's ability to turn on and turn off the right muscles at the right time to do the particular task. We're creating both stability, right, with the isometric contraction, but we're also promoting mobility, especially as we introduce movements with our warding pattern. A big one here is the idea of multi-directional core activation, right? Pretty hard to get that when we do plank stuff. And you can do planks and do warding patterns in those planks to introduce the same effect. It becomes really important for us to turn on our body when we send force in multiple directions through it. This starts to give us more upright function and strength through our core and improved reactivity. Here's the link if you want the PDF to these slides. Feel free to take a picture of that if you want. And for those that are interested to learn more about what we do with IOM, we do a lot of health coaching where we take a lot of these type of strategies and we look to promote ways and to promote self-care so people learn how to take better care of themselves, which adds a tremendous amount of value to any health professional. And so we do a 3-day mentorship. Lunch is included. We even do a dinner one of the nights. And we basically hang out and geek out together. So go to iom-europe.com to learn a little bit more. And if you want to learn more warding patterns, we have an app that has education on it. Go to Platform by IOM in your app store. The app is free to download. There's a lot of free content on there. And then there is a monthly subscription for some of the more premium education offerings there. The cool thing is the health coaching channel that we have on there, we have full CEC accreditation. So you can basically get your whole certification renewed by taking our health coaching channel education. And it's only $9.99, which is what, €6-7 a month to get your CECs renewed fully. So that's an offering that we have as well. Guys, I want to thank you for a great morning. Thank you for your participation. That's what really makes all